We thought we were finally free of them, but we were wrong. That very night, they come at us. We hear the packs of hunters mere minutes before they reach the riverbank. Gritty cries flung into the night sky, coarse and sharp like glass shards crushed underfoot. The horse, nostrils flaring and eyes rolling back, rises from the ground with a start. Muscles fused together, it gallops away with ears pulled back, the whites of its eyes shining like demented moons, into the vast darkness of the land. We grab our bags, the 6 of us, flee to the docked boat on legs that judder under us. The anchoring ropes are taut, and our shaking fingers are unable to loosen them. Ben trying to quiet his own whimpers. Epap already standing on the boat, frozen with fear, head tilted toward the sound of their approach. Tufts of his hair stick up like surrendering arms, must from a slumber into which he was never supposed to slip. Sissy hacks away at the ropes. Sparks fly off the blade as her strokes become swifter, more urgent with every passing second. She stops suddenly, blade held aloft. She's staring into the distance. She sees them. 10 silver dots, racing toward us down a distant meadow before disappearing behind the rise of a closer hill. The hairs on my neck freeze into icicles, snap and break in the wind. They reappear, 10 mercury beads cresting the hill with unflinching purpose. Silver dots, mercury beads. Such quaint terms. My futile attempt to render the horrific into the innocuous, into jewelry accessories. But these are people. These are hunters, coming to sink fangs into my flesh, to ravage me, to devour and savage my organs. I grab the younger boys, push them aboard the boat. Sissy is hacking at the last rope, trying to ignore the whales screeching toward us, slippery and wet with saliva. I grab a pole, ready to start pushing off as soon as Sissy's cut the rope. With only seconds to spare, she saws through the rope, and I push the boat into the river's current. Sissy leaps on. The river wraps around us, draws us away from the bank. The hunters gather on the riverbank, 10 strong, grotesque spillages of melted flesh and matted hair. I don't recognize a single one of them. No sign of crimson lips, abs, gaunt man, the director. But the desire in their eyes is all too familiar. It is the impulse more powerful than lust, an all-consuming desire to devour and consume heaper flesh and blood. 3 hunters leap headlong into the swift river in a futile effort to reach us. Their heads bob once, twice, then sink harmlessly away. For hours, the remaining hunters follow us along the bank. We try not to look at them, affixing our eyes on the river and the wooden planks of the deck. But there's no escaping their screams, full of unrequited lust, a keening despair. The 4 dome boys, Ben, David, Jacob, and Epap, huddle in the cabin for most of the night. Sissy and I stay at the stern, guiding the boat with long poles, keeping well away from the bank. As dawn approaches, the cloudy sky grows lighter in slow degrees. The remaining hunters, instead of becoming more languid with the approach of sunrise and the inevitability of death, only scream louder, their rage intensifying. The sun rises slowly and glows dully from behind black clouds, a filtered, diffused burn. So the hunters die gradually, in degrees, horrendously. It takes almost an hour before the last bubbled scream gurgles away, and there's nothing left of them to see or hear or smell. Sissy speaks for the first time in hours. I thought we'd journeyed far enough. Thought we'd seen the last of them. It is only morning, and her voice is already spent. It's been sunny, I say, until the storm yesterday. The rain and clouds had turned the day as dark as night and allowed the hunters to set off hours before dusk and reach us. Sissy's jaw juts out. Better not rain today, then, she says, and walks into the cabin to check on the boys. The river surges forward with propulsive insistence. I stare down its length until it fades into the distant darkness. I don't know what lies ahead, and the uncertainty numbs me with fear. A raindrop lands on my forehead, then another, and another, until rainwater lines down my neck and along my goose-pimpled arms like protruding veins. I gaze up. Dark, turgid clouds shift, then rip open. Rain buckets down in dark, slanted bands. The skies are coated as black as a murder of crows at midnight. The hunt has only begun. The hunt will never end.